Hi guys, here we are with a new episode of What to Play Over the Weekend Drunk, the series where I analyze the Gods Unchained meta, the best decks and so on. But actually today's episode will be special because it will be just about budget decks. Because there were no new patches, so actually I wanted to do something different. So just budget deck for today's, and for budget deck I mean $100 or less. So there will be actually like $10 deck and so on, but yeah. The max cap is $100. So actually let's start literally to see the meta. As we can see, Nature is still the best god, as I said the last week. Nature, you have to play Nature, guys, if you want to win. It's just so good. As you can see, everyone is playing Nature, actually, like the majority of people, and with the highest of the win rate. Same for even Magic and Death. Are literally all the people are playing these three god, and as you can see, there is a reason, because those three god are really strong. While instead, as you can see, Light and War have a pretty bad win rate, like it's really in a bad spot. I wouldn't suggest to you to play any of those. I actually put even some deck for Light and War even today, but yeah, you should not play that if you are not forced. Like if you have only a Light deck, obviously you will play Light, but if you have a multiple deck, I would not play Light and War. When instead, actually, Deception is not a huge win rate, but actually has some really good budget deck in my opinion, so we will analyze that. But yeah, as you can see, I would go for Nature if you can decide. Now let's go instead on the archetypes. As you can see, the top is dominated by Nature, a lot of Nature actually, Magic and Death. Like the first order of three god you can see is literally Arena Deception and is negative win rate. Like all the positive win rate is from these three gods, so yeah, just play those. But yeah, actually Control Nature is a super solid deck, and guys, if you want to see this deck, I will actually release the video about the best deck in Gods Unchained right now, and it will be a Control Nature, and it will be probably tomorrow, so after the day I will release this episode of What to Play Over the Weekend Ranked. So yeah, be sure to drop a follow if you don't want to miss that. So the best deck in the meta is for sure Control Nature, together with Bomb, Dragon Dance, or even Rock Drake. Like, both are really strong, but I think the Rock Drake is a lot more skilled, so you should just play Control Nature in my opinion. One instead, yeah, as you can see at the bottom, we have all the Carving War, all the new, like, Light War are pretty bad, and even a Control Deception there that is really bad, but actually, Deception, as we will see, it has some solid budget version. But let's start from the best budget deck, and is actually Food Chain. Guys, if you saw, my last video was about the best budget Nature deck, and it was a Food Chain. It is literally so good Food Chain now, guys. Like, see this guy, 72% win rate with $10 in Mythic. That's crazy. But why is so good? Like, this is a Food Chain deck, so it works still like a normal Food Chain with Bladefly, Food Chain, and some Refresh Mana. You have Zaskia even for search the Food Chain, so that's like literally the average Food Chain. But what it changed is all the new cards that are so good, like Regression, Dreaddeer, Lash Out. All those cards are amazing, and those cards actually carry the win rate. Path of Nature as well. You can delve Bladefly with this. It is so important because Bladefly was hard to find, and like every card is literally so good. Another section, everything of the new Nature cards is so good, and that's why with $10 you can literally reach 72% win rate. That's literally crazy. So this is for sure a super good budget deck, probably the best budget deck right now. I would play this if you don't have a lot of budget. And actually, if you don't know how to play this, as I said, literally my last video is about this deck, how to play it and so on. So yeah, go check that. But actually, I wanted to show you even another Nature, that is this one. This costs a bit more, but it's still a budget deck because it's still less than $100. And guys, see this win rate. I don't know how it's possible. Like, guys, I never saw a win rate so high on overall. I don't know how it's possible. To be honest, I have even hard times to understand how this deck works because I never played it. Actually, drop me in the comment if you want to see this deck. I will try to make a video about this. If I have to guess, actually, it's not even a guess. I'm pretty sure that it's based on mutation. So you want to reach like the 8 mana card that buff everything, because I see double wayward art. So like, I guess mutation, it gets in play there. And obviously still the point, the main point actually is not even like the how the deck gets played, but it's literally just every card is so good of the new cards for Nature, even a Howler, Dreaddeer, everything is so good. Zaire is so good actually. So yeah, everything is so good that I think Like it's just too good nature, and as you can see, like guys, 81% win rate in the overall. There is really not a lot to say. Actually, you can try this deck probably before to go in ranking in the weekend ranked with this. You can run some casual and see how it gets played. But I think, yeah, it's essentially pretty easy. Just go wide, go aggro, as you can see with chicken, a lot of creature. So essentially it's an aggro where you as top end can have like a mutation and so on. And Greta is blessing for more like value and so on. But I think, yeah, like it's not even hard in my opinion to play this deck. It's just probably just go a lot aggro with Zaire even. And, like it's really, really solid though. Guys, $80, 81%, like higher the win rate than the Bucks. And now instead, let's go on Deception. As I say, Deception actually has not a positive win rate in this meta, but I think it has really, really some budget version that are really good. For example, this one, $75, so not too budget. The next one will be even more budget. I mean, it's still budget deck in Gods Unchained, $70 for a deck. And as you can see, 81% win rate in 21 games or 60% in the overall. And it's from TBH. Essentially, this is an Irina deck. So essentially, what does Irina? It changes your god power if you have just this Deception card or just Nature and so on for the other gods. But in Deception, you need just Deception card. And it will change the god power with a god power that is super, super good. That essentially for 2 mana, you will delve a card from your opponent deck. So this is literally the win condition. Because you will literally like copy all the deck of your opponent, and then with Ronel and Doll, you will lower off 2 the mana of all those cards. So for example, you take Teriel with the god power of Irina, you play Ronel and Doll, and then you can play Teriel at 5 mana. Like, that's crazy. And I mean, I literally saw Aldous that literally copied all the combo of one guy and did the combo and so on. So that's really strong. It has still some really strong card like Fagnin Fae, Raptor Dance, so it has even other card or Toss 2 Pieces and Spy Master combo, so even versus aggro is pretty good in my opinion. And yeah, versus control you essentially just copy all their deck and that's how you win. Even because, guys, this deck counter the best meta deck, that is Control Nature. Why it counter it? Because the win condition of Control Nature is the bunny. But with this deck, with Irina God Power, essentially you will draw a lot more bunny than your opponent because you delve 3 cards, so you can decide. You always essentially pick bunny, and the point is that Nature will draw a lot less bunny than you. Actually, this is probably one of the only deck that I lost with the best deck in the video that I will show you. Is probably the only deck I lost like 2 times because they just copy more bunny than you. So this is actually really good, even because counter the best deck of the meta that is even the deck most played right now. So now instead, let's go in the other more budget version that is just $20. This is essentially the budget Deception that I made the video about. I don't know if you remember, that was actually the best budget deck in my opinion before this Nature. Now that probably will get nerfed, we don't know. So this deck is really solid. It's literally just the Guild Deception. You go a lot wide, you draw a lot with Fragmentary, you don't have Irina there. The only different card that I can see is Path of Deception. Essentially you delve a card from your opponent deck. I don't even like too much this card, but if you want to add it. And actually a really good card is Lysel. It's just so good, like it's so much tempo. For 5 mana you gain the control of the weakest enemy creature, and actually like if they have only one big creature, like they have only, I don't know, 1 Polemia, you literally steal Polemia for that turn, and you can even go face, like it has God Blitz. So this is really, really strong in an aggro because it can give you the last bars for kill your opponent. To be honest, I would put Lysel even in this other Deception, just because I don't see why not, like it's just an amazing card. And same even for Cars, I probably would put Lysel and Cars in both of those decks, because both of those leggy are actually really, really good in my opinion. But yeah, even this deck, guys, 73% win rate or 57 even in the overall with a lot of game for just $20 is amazing, to be honest. Probably you can remove Cobra Scepter for Makeshift Shift because I like that more, and probably even double copy and you just remove Path of Deception. But yeah, this deck is actually really, really solid, and that's why I wanted to show you the Deception budgets, because I think are both really, really good deck for the budget. And now instead, let's go on Magic, that as we saw, Magic is doing really good as well in the meta, but not thanks to this deck, obviously, but thanks to Atlantean, thanks to Arandion, although all those decks were like around 200, 300 bucks, so I couldn't put in this all budget deck version. But still, I actually was able to find a really solid budget deck for what it seems, because guys, 40 bucks, and as you can see, 64% win rate on 300 games, and 60% win rate on more than 1000 games, so the win rate is amazing, to be honest, the price is amazing, this deck seems amazing. It's kinda an old school CDM, we can say, so no Arandion and so on, but you still have the combo Glean with Layrod, so you draw the double Layrod with Glean. You have top end a lot of bars, Epiphany, Wind Breath, and double Pyrrhic. So essentially you will most likely just kill your opponent with a lot of bars, maybe even thanks to Layrod and so on. But essentially, yeah, your point is just, as you can see, spell boots with Conjurer, Apprentice, and so on. A lot of spell boot, a lot of spell. And yeah, guys, if you literally shoot an Epiphany at 6 mana in the face of your opponent, and the turn after you double Pyrrhic Epiphany, you already pushed 18 damage in 2 turns. So yeah, like this deck is still really good, and it costs really not a lot. Like if you compare that with Atlantean, with Arandion, or with any other meta deck, to be honest, I mean, I still think it's really good, but with the fact that there are a lot of control nature, this deck obviously suffers control nature, because control nature has a lot of healing, as Compost Charm, as Winter's Bounty, so probably it would be not my first pick, although this deck is really funny, to be honest, is really good, so you can go for that, to be honest. Like, you can still beat control nature, but it's a bit hard, because yeah, they have a lot of healing. Now let's go instead of Death. Death, even there, a budget deck, 50 bucks, 64% win rate. This is actually probably one of the best deck of today, I would say, in the budget version, because guys, 65% win rate even on the overall, like that's really a lot. That's actually a lot. And as you can see, this is a bomb dragon deck, so essentially you want to push your damage with like Blackfire Fledging, so you push 3 damage when this card dies, both to the weakest creature but even to your opponent face. Yeah, and so you have then a lot of other things that proc Afterlife, this proc Afterlife, this proc Afterlife, this proc Afterlife. I don't know why this guy is playing only one. You should totally play 2 of these just because it's amazing. You have Perseverance that is really good versus aggro, and you have probably I would play just one of these. It's actually a really good, a really solid card, because you trigger 2 times the Afterlife, but I think it's pretty hard to utilize these, so it's kinda like situational, so I would run probably only one and probably like put 2 of some other card. I would not play this card at all, so yeah, you can probably remove this. Although, yeah, so essentially it's just out of Dragon. The main Dragon I would say is this one, but even Brood Parasite is really amazing. 2 mana, you get a 4/4 when you sacrifice it, and you can sacrifice it with, like, yeah, I don't see even Untold Grid, for example. Like, I would totally play Untold Grid in a deck like this. You remove these, and probably another card and put a double Untold Grid, because it's just amazing. But other than that, I mean, can you say really a lot to this deck? Like, it has 65% win rate with 50 bucks, so yeah, not a lot you can say. It's for sure a really solid budget deck. And now instead, let's go on light, guys. To be honest, I will tell you, as I told you at the start, I don't suggest to you to play neither light or war. Like, that's the point. I will show you still some decks, because if you have light or war, I want to show you some budget deck that you can play. Still, you shouldn't. Okay, and now let's go. So, Light. Light is still the old deck, like from Ties of Fate. But yeah, you just heal a lot, order a lot, put everything at 1, block the board, all the things. So you don't even play any creature. Like, it's not hard to play. You just board block them, order, put at 1, heal a lot, and then essentially you want to heal a lot, you want to mana surge this, heal 30 for each one of these, so essentially even 60 with these, because you can go to 90 to 99 thanks to Blade of Creator. And then you want OTK with Prophet of Progress. Seems easy as explanation, is actually how it works, like, it's not a lot different. To be honest, this deck has the biggest problem of this deck right now is that there are a lot of Control Nature, and Control Nature can be pretty hard for this, because if they have dearly departed, they just eat your profit of progress, and now you don't have any more a win condition. So it's kind of problematic, even because their bunny will get always bigger and bigger. So yeah, you can order it for a bit, but they will not go in fatigue. So you can't kill them because they just dearly departed your guys, and they will kill you with the biggest bunny ever created in the history of Gods Unchained. So, not the best deck to play right now, in my opinion, but it's still the best budget deck for light. I mean, it's $60 and it has a 60% win rate, so like it's still a solid deck. But as I said, there are better decks, to be honest. All the one I showed to you before, I think are pretty better. If you literally have no budget, you literally have no budget, you have just an aggro light, you can play this. I will not even explain this. It's just an aggro light, go wide. It was actually pretty hard, guys, to find an aggro light with a positive win rate right now. I tried to find it, I actually found it, 53% win rate. If you're not happy, it's not my fault, guys. $10, 53% win rate. As you can see, you just go wide, you seek Asterios, Protective Benediction, a lot of buff, and so on, but not a lot to say. And to be honest, I don't even love this list, because it has a lot of one copy card that I don't enjoy, even less in aggro, because you want to really start fast with a lot of little creature, and all this weird mulligan is it's not the best in my opinion. And now the last deck for war is a standard aggro war. Yeah, I can just finish the video like this, like it's just an aggro war, $30, 55% win rate, so it's actually better than the aggro light in my opinion.